Well, good evening. Welcome into our CBS 58 studios. I'm Jessa Breisbeck.
And I'm Natalie Shepard. Our top story tonight, the conviction of Maxwell Anderson for the murder and dismemberment of Sade Robinson 14 months ago.
Yeah, on this newscast yesterday, the case had just gone to the jury. This morning, they picked up deliberations again, and their decision came quickly. The 34-year-old Milwaukee man found guilty on all 4 counts: first-degree murder, mutilating a corpse, arson, and hiding a corpse.
Anderson will be sentenced on August 15th for a crime that sent shockwaves not only through Milwaukee, but across the country. Robinson, a 19-year-old woman, disappeared after a date with Anderson, and in the days that followed, parts of her body were found in a number of locations. The
trial took almost 2 weeks, but the jury took less than an hour to reach its verdict, and the conviction sparked a joyful reaction, hugs and tears in the hallway outside the courtroom. It's that reaction that's our focus tonight.
Jenna Wells has reaction from the investigators and prosecutors who laid out a successful case. Andy Bernhardt has community reaction from a memorial walk.
But we start with Adam Reif, who's covered this trial from the very beginning. He joins us live with reaction from Sade Robinson's family. Adam?
Well, Natalie and Jessup, her family says they may now finally get a chance to rest and get some peace. It has been a grueling trial, but now all of the graphic evidence is behind them. Today, after the verdicts were read, they celebrated a win, but they also celebrated Sade. After 14 months of grief, a week of testimony, and a mountain of evidence, it took just a half hour for the jury to convict Maxwell Anderson of murdering Sade Robinson.
It was like something just lifted up out of us that we were just so pleased with it.
Sade's family released 14 months of pent-up emotions all at once.
I haven't really had a day to grieve since April of last year. Me and Adriana have been nonstop all day, every day.
The verdict does not bring her back.
She will be forever remembered as an angel.
But it's still a step toward justice. Some were outright happy.
We really can't ask for more. So I'm really excited about that outcome.
Others realistic about the healing that remains ahead.
Nobody could imagine what our mental health went through. Nobody.
It's been hard, sir. We're just trying to do better every day, take it one day at a time.
A standing room only crowd packed the courtroom as the verdict was read. Not everyone knew Sade well, a testament to how she's impacted the community.
Everybody loved her for her smile.
Sade's mother was sleepless again the night before the verdicts were announced. But now she hopes she'll be able to rest again soon.
I'm talking to Sade throughout the night. Baby, I've told you, Mommy got this. I want her to be at peace.
Now, Maxwell Anderson will be sentenced on August 15th in a few weeks. Shortly after that, Sade's family's civil case against Anderson will start. Natalie and Jessup, back to you in the studio.
Adam Reif covering this story for us beginning to end. Adam, thank you very much. And this case was a huge undertaking for state prosecutors. Their team gathered videos, images, and more than 80 witnesses, putting it all on display in the courtroom for the last 2 weeks. The CBS 58's Jenna Wells joins us live with what they had to say. Jenna.
Natalie, it took a large team to get to every corner of this investigation. Attorneys, doctors, witnesses, detectives, and law enforcement from all over Milwaukee County, even stretching over the border to Illinois, all played a part in collecting this evidence.
This is a tragedy, and I'm just hopeful that this verdict can be a step towards healing for everybody that this has affected.
Assistant District Attorney Ian Vance Curzan joined investigators to detail their hundreds of hours of work to get justice for Sade Robinson and her family.
But I will admit that I did go back to my office after the verdict and I had a good cry.
Lead Detective Joanne Donner said she's lived and breathed this case for the last 14 months, working closely with prosecutors daily.
Even on some of my off times, I would go down to Warnemont and I'd go up and down that beach, just hoping, right? You know, the most difficult part is not asking myself constantly, did I miss anything?
Detectives combed through countless hours of surveillance video from locations across Milwaukee County to lay out the evidence.
The time put into that, all the videos, retrieving the videos, I mean, that's what defined the timeline and the routes that were taken.
And that thoroughness is why Vance Curzan believes it was clear Anderson is guilty beyond any reasonable doubt.
The evidence just spoke for itself. That's all I can really say about that, and I think the jury saw that.
Now, District Attorney Kent Lovern said this was a perfect example of how so many agencies can all work together for the best outcome. He also praised the jurors in this case, saying that it's a job where members of our community are given their highest amount of authority. Natalie, Jessup.
Jenna Wells live for us in Milwaukee. Thank you. And Anthony Cotton, the attorney who represented Maxwell Anderson, did not call any witnesses before resting his case yesterday. He says he tried to present the best defense he could. As for the jury who brought back the guilty verdict so quickly, he thinks they were fair and impartial and wouldn't have done anything differently.
There were no big surprises in the trial. It was basically what we expected. The evidence came in over the course of 2 weeks. It was a long 2 weeks. I'm obviously respect the jury's verdict. They had a difficult job to do, and they did it.
Well, Attorney Justin Padway has been providing analysis of the Anderson trial on a nightly basis for the last 2 weeks, and he is back for what we might call a summation today.
Yeah. Thanks first off for all the work. But right now we know you were surprised, as most people were surprised, that it only took less than an hour for the jury to come back with their decision. Given the circumstantial nature of the evidence in this case, could this have turned out differently had the defense maybe called witnesses?
Yeah, I've given that a lot of thought. I don't think it would have turned out differently. I think there would have had to have been witnesses that the defense could have presented. I think ultimately you were going to need an alibi as to why Maxwell Anderson was found near the area of that burning car on April 2nd into that morning. You're going to need to understand why Shade Robinson was taken on his phone photographs on that red couch and why those were deleted. And I don't really think there was a witness that could explain. And I think if there was, the defense would have called them.
Well, Maxwell Anderson will be sentenced in August. We learned that today. And, between now and then, is there a chance that he could give more information in this case to kind of cut a deal or change that sentence? Because there are so many unanswered questions still. How she died, where some of her body parts still are. Yeah,
the counts aren't going to change. He's convicted of all 4 counts. What potentially could happen, and this would be between the state of Wisconsin and Maxwell Anderson's attorney and the opinions of Shade Robinson's family, maybe there's a way he could exchange information for a lesser recommendation by the state, but he's still guilty of first-degree intentional homicide. He's still guilty of arson. He's still guilty of mutilation of corpse and of hiding a corpse. That's not going to change. I anticipate the recommendation is going to be life, but maybe if there's an exchange of information, there's maybe a lighter recommendation,
Sure.
But hard to say.
Yeah. Justin Padway, thank you for 2 weeks of really, really good work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both.
Well, CBS 58 also went to Pizza Shuttle in Milwaukee, where Shade Robinson worked. That's also where a mural of the young woman has been painted as a memorial. Her former co-worker, Winston Milhouse, talked about the impact Robinson's murder has had on the people who work there.
2024 might have been the hardest year of my entire life, along probably with a lot of our staff, because how do you go back to life as normal after knowing a person like her and having this happen? And the truth is that you don't, and you just do your best job.
Milhouse says Robinson's murder should raise awareness that no one is guaranteed tomorrow and that we should, quote, tell each other we love each other.
Well, CBS 58 went to the Pizza Shuttle restaurant in Milwaukee where Shade Robinson worked. That's also where a mural of the young woman has been painted as a memorial. Her former co-worker, Winston Milhouse, talked about the impact Robinson's murder has had on the people who worked there as well.
And other people who either knew Shade Robinson or were moved by her tragic story have been gathering at Milwaukee's Red Arrow Park this afternoon.
Yeah, this was billed as a walk and rally for Shade, and Andy Bernhardt is live there for us right now. Andy, how's it going?
Well, that's right. People are slowly trickling in. People who didn't know Shade and even her close friends and family. Shade's mother actually just arrived here for this rally to really show support after today's verdict. They say while the verdict is in and is a small piece of justice, there will never be true justice as Shade Robinson was taken from them way too soon. Shade has been on the minds of many for more than a year now, and people are showing up wearing her favorite color today, pink. Many people wearing shirts with her face on it. They're planning to have a pink walk here at the park. There's people sort of scattered all around, slowly trickling in to honor Shade. the 19-year-old whose favorite color is pink. They say she was caring, ambitious, and just had so many big dreams. One thing is for sure, Sade will not be forgotten. There are so many gatherings in addition to this one happening across our area with people showing support for Sade and her family, who is right here behind me. But we'll have more for you later tonight. Back to you.
All right, Andy Bernhardt live downtown for us. We look forward to your stories tonight at 9 and 10. And you can find all of our coverage of the trial of Maxwell Anderson on our website, CBS58.com.
And we will have more on the efforts to remember and celebrate the life of Sade Robinson coming up later.